warm virtual welcome to this edition of TrendWatch.co Connect. I'm your host, Amdena Abdul Abdurrahim, and I'm thrilled to have every one of you joining us today. On today's episode, we'll be diving into the latest trends and innovation shaping the world of business and media with specific focus on the digital media strategies for business and media growth. And on today's show, we're excited to host a tech star and an expert in the industry, Fatima Kunduri. Fatima Kunduri, tech enthusiast and advocate for innovative growth with specific interest in multiple facets of artificial intelligence, specializing at the intersection of technology and business strategy. She's a process governance analyst at NBC Universal with multiple years of experience helping in-house departments with process improvement. Specializing in data analysis and innovation strategies, Fatima uses a vast experience to reduce organizational churn in the film and TV content distribution space. Hi, Fatima. Welcome to Transport.
Hi, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. In today's dynamic digital landscape, it's more important than ever to stay ahead of the curve and understand the trends that are driving success. That's why on today's show, we are set to have an insightful conversation on digital media strategies for business and career growth. Together with our guests today, we'll take a journey to look into strategies that matter the most for every business owner in the 21st century, from digital media strategies to business growth and everything in between. So sit back, relax, and get ready to connect with the trends that are shaping the future. Before we go further, if you're yet to subscribe to our channel, please do so by clicking on the subscribe button and do also click the bell icon too, so you will not miss any other content from Trends.Watch Connect and other entertaining data stories we will be sharing. Without further ado, let's get started. Hi again, Fatima. Thank you for joining us. Can you please shed light on the topic? Give us some background information on digital media strategies for business and media growth.
Okay, so digital media strategies for business growth is usually, or just by simple terms, the steps and processes that a business owner would take in order to expand their digital reach, or basically digital reach, and also grow awareness for their business. And just because everything now is done digitally, so it's very important for a business to have that digital presence, and strategy, being very strategic about it, is very important as well.
So my first question would be, what are the most effective digital media channels for businesses to reach their target audience, and how can they measure their impact?
So there are various channels for creating awareness for business. And one thing that a business owner would take into consideration would be what their aim is for creating that presence, and then also what their target market looks like. Because it's very hard to decide which channel would be best, because for a business, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of situation. It has to be very strategic, and it has to be tailored according to the potential audience and who you're trying to reach. Now, and also it goes down to the demographics. There's so many ways to do that. Some people would go about in getting that information through like creating surveys, asking questions through various channels, and just see the response and determine what would work for them from there. And others would like try creating personas, and then the persona for like how their potential target market is. Is it a man or a woman? Is it both genders? Or is it children? And then what is the best way to reach them? What are their routines? What outlets do they use? I mean, and then are they professionals? All these basic details and demographics are needed for you to be able to actually condense who your target market is, and to be able to understand what their behaviors and patterns are. Then it will be easier for you to reach them. You cannot, for example, is You cannot go trying to, mostly if you're using social media is a good one at all times, but then even figuring out the best platform to use can be very useful, because you cannot be targeting like Gen Z and be going to Facebook. Most of them don't use it. So you'll just be targeting the older generation by doing that. And then it would just be a failed strategy, right? So figuring all these things out and then finding the right channel to reach the audience is best. And then how metrics comes into play with this is, as you're implementing all these strategies and figuring out what works and what wouldn't work, you'd be able to realize from the numbers. Sometimes it's even like for professional people, it would be through websites, it could be through even Netflix. So through the ads, if you can pay for ads. So figuring that platform is important. And then when you find the platform, you'd be able to see your progress. Are you receiving the clicks to your website? Are people coming in? And if it's not, and the easiest way to figure out from the scratch though is to try multiple channels. And when you find those channels, when you're able to compare them, then that works. But trying just one channel, you can do one at a time, it would work, but having, basis for comparison is always useful. So I'd suggest, like, first to strategize, tailor how your target audience would likely behave, and then try 2 to 3 channels. It could be social media, it could be targeted ads through like search engine optimization, and then it could be also through like platforms like YouTube or streaming services, and just see what works better.
Thank you very much. I was actually going to ask a follow-up question, but you already answered it in the response.
Oh, what was the follow-up question?
I was going to ask how to leverage social media, but you already touched on it. So
yes,
it's important, like you said, for business owners to identify what works for them in terms of what social media to use for whatever service they're providing.
exactly.
My next question is, what role does content marketing play in digital media strategy, and how can businesses create compelling content that would resonate with their audience?
Okay, it's basically the entire marketing is very important, first of all, and then without marketing wouldn't happen without having a content in place. And a business owner has to have in mind or be aware of their current position, right? Because with marketing, you're trying to position your brand, either make it stronger or create the brand image from the scratch if it's a new business or a small business, right?
Yeah.
And the content you put out there
actually
shapes up the perception about what your brand is, and then it also creates a reputation for your brand. So that's very, very, very key. Consistency with value when it comes to content marketing is very important as well. You need to be able to have an idea or a vision on what you want to be remembered for, what value are you creating, what problem are you solving, and what you're putting out there is meant to be there to make people's lives easier or better.
How would businesses create compelling content that would resonate with the respective audience?
Okay, you notice the trend on what's happening. That's the easiest way to do that. And I'll give you an example for that. Let's say you're a makeup brand. The value that you're putting out there is you're trying to show people that how they can accentuate or like cover their scars to just beautify themselves and feel better about themselves. That's why you're selling makeup. And then how you can actually, create that compelling trend is, at the moment, there's a lot of awareness around environment, be environmentally conscious. So an easy strategy for a business that is creating makeup would be, they're using krill-free products. And then at that moment, they are putting out their value and they're very consistent with it. And at the same time, they're also getting on the trend of all the, environment, advocating for environment campaign. So that works. And but the most important thing is whatever that content that you're creating, it has to represent the value that you're creating. So it doesn't matter what the trend is and what the messaging you're trying to pass across is, but it has to stick or revolve around your values and the relevance of that brand. And also, when it comes to creating content, as I said earlier, it's based on where your brand is placed. If you're a startup, you're trying to create an image, from the scratch. If you're like in between, then you're trying to like build, what do you call it? You're trying to build loyalty. But if you're already established, you're just trying to make sure that nobody forgets you. You're just trying to strengthen your positioning. And also, it depends on the service and the products that you're selling out, because they sell this idea of aspiration. And you see, they don't really talk much. They don't express much. It's just now, if you're selling like basic products, you cannot do that, because for basic products, it has a lot of potential for competition in the market. You have to be able to show value, give people accurate information. You're not trying to get them to aspire for the product or service that you're selling. You're trying to show how it's better than the others. So that's just how it is. It just depends on, as I said earlier, again, it's not a one size fits all. It's just tailored approaches that a person or business owner has to bring in all together based on their own unique situation.
If you're looking to boost your business brilliance, you're an entrepreneur, or you run a school, have a restaurant, or you're just individuals who like to showcase your story, please feel free to do so via Trendswatch Weekly Magazine. You can amplify your influence. Visit our website www.trendswatch.co/contact/ to be part of the next big thing.
Thank you for that response. Flowing from that question, everyone talks about how important it is right now in this age and time to use influencers, apart from running sponsored ads on that kind of you're using. So how would you say businesses can utilize influencer marketing to expand their reach and credibility?
Okay. When you're using influencers, it automatically increases your visibility to a community. And the whole aim for a business is to expand their reach, make sales, and then make money off that, right? So, and using influencers exposes you to a community or a set of people that ideally maybe on a normal day you wouldn't have thought about or you wouldn't have had access to. So that really, boosts a business visibility. And but what's important here is to always be aware of and be careful of the influencer that you would want to use for your business, because that could also play or make an impact in your own brand's reputation. So you have to seek value alignment each time you're seeking for an influencer that would promote your business. Because, if they're known for one thing and then you associate with them, sometimes it would either create a confusion for the people, or they would, view you under a light that probably that is not the reputation that you would want for your business, or that's not how you want your business to be seen. So, but influencer marketing is very, very useful, especially for I'd say medium to large or established businesses. For small businesses is good as well, but sometimes the budget for affordability is not there as well, because I know influencers are becoming more and more expensive by the day. So except if there's a good deal available, though a shout out from an influencer for small business is always goes a long way. So, but yeah, it's very for sure significant for businesses.
Um, you said something about how businesses have to not just speak on any random influencer, but be sure that their values align. And it resonates with me because I remember something that happened very recently where a business that I follow hired
Mhm.
a controversial influencer on Instagram to promote her brand, and it ended up being Jade. So when she came out to say, "Oh, hey, I had this person, and he or she's not working, and I'm asking for my money, and they're not coming today," people actually went for her. Like, come on, your brand is supposed to be a representation of something. The person you're saying you're hiring is a totally different persona to what your brand, is offering. And stemming
Exactly.
from that, I had to ask me of her genuinity, just because they now relate her to the said influencer. Like, if you are
Exactly.
working with this, there's a chance that even you're not straightforward. So yeah, I absolutely I agree with you on that.
Mhm.
I'm also wanting to ask that what are the key considerations for businesses when developing a digital media budget, and how can they optimize their spending for maximum ROI? I know you spoke about how small scale businesses might not be able to afford influencers because of budget. So, how would you say businesses should consider what should they consider when developing digital media budgets?
Okay, from what I understand, um, in business, right, there's a yearly budget, and the money allocated or the percentage of that budget that should be allocated for marketing should be about not more than 20%, 10 to 18% of
Thank
um
you.
of that budget, correct? So if you allocate that percentage to that, then also you reallocate it into several categories. 70% of that budget could go for strategies that have already been tested and trusted by like comparable businesses or by your business if you've already done that before. And then like 20% of that portion could go into innovative strategies, how you can improve things or your processes. Then you use that 10% to explore and try things that you haven't tried before. I think that is a good ratio to balance your budget out
Yeah.
and try new things, but at the same time mitigating your risks and not being all over the place without having a good strategy. And I think you can always use metrics to measure um how you're
Success.
pacing, how you're pacing with that. And KPIs, you can always set those KPIs. Let's say you're using search engine optimization on Google, and you can say that if I pay for this subscription for a month, um, I'm expecting to
This.
have 5,000 clicks to my website.
Yeah.
And if you hit that KPI, then that would work. If you don't hit it, if you get like 1,000 clicks, then that is not the strategy for you. That is not the approach to go with. So budget allocation should be strategic. Don't go all out, but with marketing, I know that and what I'm saying is out of all of that also like more than 50% should actually go for digital marketing. Now, gone are the days that you like, even though it works in for some certain categories, you can print out flyers, posters, or whatnot. But about 60 to 50% of your budget allocation for marketing should go into digital strategies, digital marketing.
Still on things that will work for business, what would you say are the latest trends in digital
Mhm.
media consumption, and how can businesses adapt their strategies to stay ahead of the curve?
So digital trends. Now, digital trends, um, are sometimes affected by the economy as well. And I'll give you an example, a clear example for that. Um, in the US and probably in Nigeria too, the economic challenges, right? Post COVID, the world economy has been, all over the place, and people are caring more about their own like basic needs instead of extra leisure stuff. And if you're a business owner, it might not be advisable for you to be paying for ads for like Netflix. I know, or things like that for luxury websites, because people are canceling their subscription as the day goes by. There are less and less people that are like cutting out their spending for other things that they're not supposed to. So those websites are like are having less traffic, and you wouldn't want that. You would want websites with more traffic. So for someone like me, I would go for advertising for Amazon, because at the end of the day, people always go to Amazon, right? So in Nigeria, you can use websites like Konga, Jumia if people are going on there, and then social media. You never go wrong with social media because people always have data. Exactly, people always have data. So just trend research on what's happening in the world, what's happening in the economy. That's it. And then
how about AI?
I was going to talk about AI. That was what I was trying to remember. With AI, there's so many versions of AI, and this portion is for like the people that are creating content, right? So you can use AI to be more efficient, to utilize your skill, to do a bunch of things, for editing, for idea generation, on how to just put your things out there, how to re-strategize. AI would give you a lot of ideas. AI would make you work efficient. You can use AI to edit stuff for your content. So AI is a great tool, and there's so many. The good part of it is there's so many versions that are useful, and they're like what would I say, tailored for even content creation. Because I know there's Canva. Canva partnered with AI. I know Canva is a really, really useful tool for creatives, because I've used Canva before. There was a time that I always just create my presentations with Canva. Like, I've forgotten about PowerPoint because I just liked the images, the features better. That's it. And then I just export it as like PowerPoint. So with Canva now, you can give it an idea, just type in what you want, and then you have a good image of whatever it is that you want to create, and you have better ideas then.
Thank you. So coming down from strategies, how would you say businesses can balance the need for brand consistency with the need for localized targeted messaging in their social media campaigns?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's all about, your identity, your values, for the values that you have for a business, core things that revolve around the business. And then you look at the environment or the criteria of people that you're trying to target, and then you tailor the messaging according to them. Now, for an example, what I'd say is you're promoting diversity and inclusion in your as a core value for your business, right? Inclusivity and things like that. And then you're trying to target people or expand your reach to places in Nigeria or countries or regions that are a little bit more on the strict side. And then you go over and beyond regarding the diversity and inclusion that does not really align with the values of the people, then that is just off. So it's always better to localize, as we said earlier, localize the messaging based on the way people would understand, based on their values, based on their culture and their beliefs.
That's important.
So, yeah, because it can be very controversial. A lot of businesses have gone into like, they've had to issue out statements, they've gone into chaos because they did something that was not it. I mean, and in the content that you create, well, no matter what, you try as much as possible. This one is very, very important not to promote in the slightest way things that involve harassment, abuse, you know, and all of that. I've seen a lot of brands that, and especially things that are people are very, very sensitive about, like the genocide. So it's better to it can be very, very tricky for business, and that part is very dicey. And no matter where the personal values of a business owner is, the values of the business are different. They should be different from the business owner's values. And then that should also influence the message that they're trying to pass across.
If you're looking to boost your business brilliance, you're an entrepreneur, or you run a school, have a restaurant, or you're just individuals who like to showcase your story, please feel free to do so via TrendsWatch Weekly magazine. You can amplify your influence. Visit our website www.trendswatch.co/contact/ to be part of the next big thing.
Thank you so much, Fatima. This has been an enlightening and insightful and educating session. But before I let you go, my final question would be, how can businesses use data analytics to inform their digital media strategies and measure their performance?
Well, with data analytics, you cannot have a digital presence as a business and not have access to metrics on how you're pacing and your progress and KPI, and then you can not and see whether you're meeting up with KPI or not. And you cannot abandon the metrics. If the numbers are telling you something different, then you need to stick by them and try something else till you see something that works for you. Now, and you'd also be able to take a decision and re-strategize. Now, I know throughout this conversation today, I talked about brand positioning, brand reputation so many times, but I would say that again, if let's say I am trying to, my business, or let's say I'm a content creator, that is very easy. I think that is easier for people to resonate with as well. I'm a content creator. I want to promote food, food business, or I want to introduce food business, but I want my page to promote food, different recipes and things like that. But then I've been going to restaurants, I've been posting pictures of food, and then I've also been, posting about myself and my daily activities. But then I have seen that there are more views or likes to posts about me instead of the food business that I'm trying to introduce, or the food content that I'm trying to put out. So it means that there's something that is going a little bit wrong. The perception that I am giving people is that I'm more of a lifestyle person and they're more interested in my own life. So there are two things in this kind of situation. It's informative for me in such a way that I can pivot and give people what they want, or either way, I know that food thing is not it. So I need to find a way to get people interested in the food content that I'm putting out there. So probably creating videos of myself cooking instead.
Instead of restaurant, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of food created, made at the restaurant and me just eating it. So, that's how you use metrics to either know what's working, what's not working, how to pivot and just make things work for yourself. It's either way, you never go wrong with using data. It would always work in your own advantage. So, and you'd be able to hold yourself accountable based on the numbers as well.
Thank you so much, Fatma. I personally enjoyed this session. I think I can speak for every other person too. If I said yes, we all enjoyed this session. It's been lovely listening to you share your insights and educate us about our topic tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show because I did. Please remember to give us a 5-star rating and do share with your friends and family. You can also visit our website on www.trendswatch.co for more of our data-centric content and articles. Join us again 2 Saturdays from now for our next episode of Trends Watch Connect. This episode is produced by Musa Muhammad. Research was done by Azomta Ugochukwu. Our executive producer is Sana Kunziri, and I'm your host, Zainab Yusuf Abdurrahim for TrendsWatch.co. Thank you so much, everyone, again. Enjoy the rest of your day, wherever you are. Bye.
If you're looking to boost your business brilliance, you're an entrepreneur or you run a school, have a restaurant, or you're just individuals who like to showcase your story, please feel free to do so via Trends Watch Weekly magazine. You can amplify your influence. Visit our website www.trendswatch.co/contact/ to be part of the next big thing.